throughout the course of the tournament have not played a single game of Maokai. And I think this is where SAIGON Buffalo is saying, match parent, we don't care. We'll call your bluff. You won't play Maokai. We'll still have it available. So they pick up the Kalista for themselves. That can allow them to play aggressive in the bot side. And now the question is, from the side of Mad Lions, are you grabbing a Misfortune into it? Is that what you want to do to stabilize it? Make it rain can make her life a little miserable. You have good damage percentage into the Kalista as well at the same time. But no, Unforgiven is going to stick with what worked the last game, and he's going to go on that Varus.
I wonder as well if that is... Wow. Oh, Pantheon, not banned. It's locked in now. So that is secured for BeanJ. That will be the first time that he's played it at the World Championship. He's got 5 games played, 4 of them are wins from the VCS. And I think when I look at the Varus, one of the signals they said to me was, be aware, if you're thinking about that kind of Hecarim option, you will have that Chain of Corruption to lock you in place.
And so many times Pantheon has been banned out against BeanJ. This time around, he finally gets it. Paired up with a Taliyah in the mid lane, where the combo just goes. Pantheon walks into lane, he stuns you, and Taliyah does a combo. That's how simple it is. Now, the adaptation coming through from Armut is going to be that Ornn up towards the top side. I think that's beneficial for Mad Lions. I think having Armut on Ornn with long-range engage is super good for them. Now you can ban away some of the things you don't want to play against. Gwen is one of them, Camille can be another one, and then you're just going to default into, well, here's my mid laner into the Taliyah. We save counter pick for support on 5.
What do you want to run into these globals? Because when you start thinking about the range, the semi-globals with the range of engage that Pantheon and Taliyah can offer, and the fact that you still don't know what Taki's going to run in this bottom lane when comboed up with that Fate's Call from Kalista, that is a lot of engaged tools already on the side of SAIGON Buffalo. Not to be dissuaded, Call of the Forge God plus Chain of Corruption is great primary and secondary. So, just like we've seen from all the other games, these teams like to play forward, like to play aggro, and like to make their first move.
I don't think Nisqy would do this, but I think champions like Azir functions really well into this. You're longer range than pretty much all of them. You have disengage in your kit. You can go for Crown of the Shattered Queen, so you won't have to be worried about the fact that you get comboed up. Yumi left available. And Renata banned away from the Kalista.
If that gets locked in, the Lost Chapter is so powerful. And again, think about the crowd control. Think about the options available to Mad Lions.
Oh, wow.
Instead, they're going to go for the Vex, which did work very well in Game 3 when comboed with the BelVeth and managing to, again, follow up secondary engage after the Ornn can work well.
So the thing with, at least, the Vex is that she can knock down the Pantheon whenever he comes around for the stun, right? That's a thing you can look for. The problem that you have is that you're also fairly short range, so even if you knock down the Pantheon, any slows coming through from any Mumble members could be dangerous. But Hasmed again, trying to remain aggressive on the top side. The only worry I have right now from SAIGON is, do you have too many things to play for? You have a Pantheon and Taliyah. You can get mid lane pressure, you can move that around the map. But if you move it towards one side of the map, how's the other side gonna look? Because you have 2 carries to play for. The Fiora, the Kalista, the pick coming through from the bot lane of Taki. It is gonna be that Sett.
My word! So there's only 2 games of Fiora played by Hasmed all year long. He didn't win a single one of them. It is another game in a row, Gulborg. There's a champion locked in the side lane that can take over that side lane. They can push. I think the Lilia obviously wants the team fight a little bit more, but the final lock-in here will be Kaiser in on Alistar. So zoom out. How do these compositions want to win the game?
There is definitely team fighting tools available to Mad Lions. That's how you win the game. You can already see the picture that you have. Chains of Corruption. Alistar that goes in. Ornn that goes in. But, not BelVeth, but the Vex on top of it. But on the side of SAIGON Buffalo, you have a few more tools. You have an early game through bot lane you can play for. You have a combo in the mid lane to try and shut down Nisqy. And you have a side lane win condition. It's very fluid in terms of what it can do, but I think if they are even and they straight up decide to team fight Mad Lions, they'll probably lose. So they have to play around some of the finicky win conditions they have in their team comp.
I also think the level of risk when engaging for SAIGON Buffalo is significantly higher. Long range Ornn, long range Chain of Corruption. Wait to see if Vex can have something to follow up on. That means you're not throwing your body at a fight, which is what Pantheon, Fiora, and Sett want to do.
Cross mapping and movement coming through is going to be really crucial to have a look at, because if Mad Lions is overforcing bot side, SAIGON's going to be overforcing on top side, where you do these semi-globals just to rain down on Armut immediately.
And I think both teams have had pretty good wave management, side lane control. They've played the map relatively in the games that they've won. When you think about the vision and the fights, even in game 1 when Mad Lions picked it up, The one big team fight Saigon had won was because they'd set up a chain of events to force that fight to the mid lane.
And what about the storyline we just had before, where it's like this game, it was all the games we've had so far in the series have been decided in the early game in terms of who actually take it. No team has come back yet. It has just been stomp after stomp after stomp. This might be a little different.
Well, let's find out, because both teams have the tools to continue stomping if they get ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5! Shogun will just spot them out and throw up the Teemo thumbs up. Taking a look down the keystones, nothing jumping out for me as of yet.
1 Buffalo, 2 Buffalo, 3 Buffalo on the top side, just gaining some vision control. Keep that tracking going on Elyoya, very important when you're playing into a champion like the BelVeth.
In the previous game, BelVeth was able to pick up a kill in the topside jungle just before the first Rift Herald spawned. It was set up because Hasmed committed to a fight with Armut, kind of got chunked out, forced away, and then was down low. That first Rift Herald for a champion like BelVeth is so important.
They might be anticipating an early invade. At least that's why they put so many members up here. Should someone actually come in and face check, you can even see it with Kaiser and Unforgiven up there. But Saigon, they're just going to carry back here. They're not going to show any intel whatsoever. BeanJ is solo starting the blue buff, while the bot lane of Saigon Buffalo is actually trying to get aggressive down the bot side to potentially get a level 1 all-in.
So let's talk about the fact that Saigon Buffalo have a number of lanes that they can or they want to play for. What would you prefer to see from them? As you can see, Fiora top, Taliyah mid, and the Kalista separate.
You can 2v2 in the bot lane if you know the jungler isn't around. And watch out for Taki just flashing out of nowhere. He's got Hex Flash, and he's going to look to go all-in whenever he gets the chance.
Okay, stepping forward already, challenging the first wave. We'll get that pull back into Kaiser and instantly get headbutt to safety, but Shogun will be able to pick up the first couple of minions.
Yeah, so the other thing, of course, is that mid lane, right? You have to Taliyah with the Pantheon combo. You come in and get the stun, Nisqy just gets CC's up. Afterwards, you can use that priority to move it elsewhere on the map. You don't want to just slam everything into mid lane. You want to gain priority, and you want to put that priority elsewhere.
I think when you consider that both Pantheon and Taliyah can have such a fast reaction once they get the ultimates, I love that idea. Get Froggy ahead, then work with Froggy to get Hasmed or Shogun ahead, and then they can close the game out for you. Let's see whether or not that plays out. Nisqy is eating a lot of those mines for now. Drop down to below half. He got a great poke down earlier, but all 3 lanes pushing into mad lines for now.
Yeah, and that's not the best when you have a BelVeth that wants to stabilize in the jungle. I think you can see it now. BeanJ, he's actually going to utilize this. He's going to get aggressive. Who can back up Elyoya? Who can facilitate BeanJ here? Now Froggy already on the move.
Holding on to that shield vault. That will be some very important crowd control. Stepping in, no camps to clear, but look at that. Look at the movement from Buffalo. That is exactly what you talked about in terms of the draft.
Yeah, but good pathing as well for Elyoya. So he knew he was spotted on the red buff. He just did red buff, and then ignored his Raptors, ignored his Crocs, and went straight down to fully clear his blue side, and then off towards the top lane. That actually managed, or made him manage to not get invaded like we just saw with BeanJ. That was the extra momentum. Had he done Raptors, he would have probably died with the members coming in.
Right now, Elyoya is looking to pick up a kill, looking to make Hasmed die, but there is a very good ward. And a great spot, Goldboard. You called it in the previous game as well. Elyoya's double back. He picked up enemy red, crossed mid, and then looped all the way around his own blue. That is what allowed Elyoya to be in position at the right time to pick up those 4-minute kills. Unforgiven, respecting the pullback. He flashes away to safety. Shogun will use that cleanse and look at the river. Pantheon is making his way down.
And just like that, again, like vultures, but Unforgiven has done a great job at trading damage back on Shogun to kind of disrupt that potential dive. They don't have a fully stacked wave to crash in here as well. So great disengage coming through from Matt Lions. But that was that flash in I talked about with Taki. Out of nowhere, explosive.
The little bit of chess game between Alistar and Sett. Looking to see when someone gets pulled back, when someone gets pulverized or pushed away. We're seeing it play out. Ultimately, both bot laners take big chunks of damage. The wave is now being held in place just for a little. This has allowed Shogun to pick up those double long swords. I think a lot of consumables for Unforgiven cannot be disregarded. 2 cookies and that potion still.
And they also have the lane in a great spot. You can see right now, Cannon goes down. They are starving Shogun, who went back for early cheater. Now, Shogun, when he's back in the lane, he will have the item advantage. But in terms of the experience that Unforgiven currently have, it's actually more worth it for him. So if they can have him crash down this wave and allow him to go for a reset, then this whole sequence will actually have benefited him.
Well, to find out if he can get that advantage. Level 3 down a level to Unforgiven for now. That wave will move towards him. Goldborg, you can feel the tension of this early game. By 4 minutes in every single one of our previous games, people had died. And this time around, the tension, the fact that it is the elimination game for Saigon, it is the victory advancement game for MAD. And the first move, this is what we wanted to see, mid and jungle supporting a side lane.
Yeah, and Nisqy does not have teleport, so no one can actually help Armut. He just has to get out of here. He has to forfeit the wave.
Running, running, running. He tagged by the threaded volley. Beautiful bellows breath. Nicely done. Obviously predictable seismic shot.
So what's the counter response from Mad Lions? Well, jungler, mid laner, up on the top side. While Drakes have been buffed with their early resistance and HP, that's not going to disrupt you from starting the objective when you spot half the enemy team on the top side.
Yeah, that's again one of the keys to victory for this particular matchup. We saw the Pantheon until a combo. We haven't seen any ganks just yet. I do want to highlight that with that move, as well as early trading, Nisqy is up 11 CS in that middle lane. It's a +6 in the top lane, but that should be balanced out because it looks like Armut's got a wave in front of him and actually will be able to be pulled ahead as Hasmed's Fiora is doing pretty well. 6 minutes on the clock. I am confident that is the earliest dragon that we've seen at play-ins. While I validate that, you let me know.
Yeah, sure thing. So, well, I don't know. You let me know when you validate.
It's 20 seconds late. RNG DRX had a 5-minute 40. That was the one of 2022, and that was about 6 minutes. So it's 20 seconds later, the second fastest.
Now, Armut is in a position where up in the top lane, his wave is slow pushing into a Fiora. He does have that flash, but it's not a very fun lane to have. So at some point, he'll have to be bailed out, or he's just going to be a point of attack, or he's going to lose a lot of CS by just staring at it.
One thing I also just looked at, when you look at the damage profile of Saigon, a lot of physical damage, there's that chess game, or checkers as it were. I move my piece, you move your piece. And they're instantly disengaged. I think Unforgiven and Kaiser come off worse for wear. It's a 3-for-4. Teleport not available for Armut as the Weaver's Wall locks the Mad Lions in place underneath their tower. Taki stepping forward, a 2-man knockup. BelVeth comes in, first blood Mad Lions, followed up by Nisqy as he arrives for the backup. A dive over the wall, the Void Rush manages to put BeanJ in trouble. Another! It's Mad Lions with 3. They're looking for 4, but Froggy is gonna flash over the wall! The Shadow Surge, as well as the blast code. Nisqy's gonna flash away from the thread. Volley continues to chase forward. Fear, Ghost, Scare, Otto's all that's needed. 1 more to go. Nisqy is going to get the kill.
And that's beautiful. That is as good as you could have played that as a Vex in that instance. Held on to it so many times with the ultimate. Waited for the summoner spells came out. First with BeanJ, then with Froggy. Brilliantly played.
Exceptional, and that was a tower dive that the Saigon Buffalo started. Look at the minimap. Nisqy's on his way. He's going to be late.
It's just such a good read, though. Like, even Elyoya's movement here, if he gets CC'd up, he just dies instantly. But the fact he outplays it with the movement and the rest of the team manages to come together just means they win out on this play. And once again, waiting for the things to come through. Blast Cone, no longer available, but he's had the ultimate on him. So he's still gonna get over the wall. And then in this instance, he's waiting for Kaiser to come around with a combo, but then he has the ultimate still applicable.
So nicely done. Flashing away that threaded void. Don't put you in risk. Anticipate the tower dive.
Now, picture in picture, Rift Herald has been started up, and the rest of Mad Lions is coming in. Oh, well, here's the Mad Lions, the coaching staff. We're out on the Rift now.
That was a happier looking Mac. Rift Herald is stolen! Elyoya steps up, 1,700 gold lead. Saigon Buffalo gift wrapped it.
But the problem is, since he can't get the deadly Lavender, he's actually not being able to pick up the Void Links. Yes, he does get the Rift Herald, and of course that's really great. But he doesn't have that thing that makes BelVeth really suppressing once you get the Rift Herald.
At this point in the game, I think the aversion to risk is maybe the right call. You cannot disregard the power. Level 8 Fiora, 6 Pantheon, 7 Taliyah, and electing to get the Herald, drop it for the gold advantage is the safer play, the less risky one, and that is right where we find ourselves this game. Oh, yeah, it's just going to get spotted out by the ward there. But the tempo of this game and the tempo of this series has been defined by whoever gets those first big skirmishes. Mad Lions in Game 4, in the match point, get a significant lead.
And they need to be careful here. They can't commit to a dive. You can see Saigon's response as well is that. Froggy went for reset. He's backing down towards bot side. Let's see how this goes again. So Rend haven't really been stacked up on the Rift Herald, so that's also a tool that they don't have available to them from Saigon. And I think it's just one auto attack that comes in with the smite immediately, and they're able to pick it up. And then it's as you say, they don't want to just sacrifice Elyoya and lose out on it.
Yeah, I feel like that's maybe what the decision-making was. And I also feel like Saigon Buffalo need to be careful. There's a lot of feelings in an elimination series when Saigon might have their season ending right here, might have their World Championship run ending right here. They do have a lot of tools, they do have a lot of skirmish power, but they need the next few attempts to be successful.
Here they go, this is the tools we're talking about though.
There's the stun from the shield vault into the seismic shove, the Aegis Assault comes out, and that's at least the first on the board for Buffalo, exactly the way you want to see it.
Exactly, that's what you still have available in your toolkit from Saigon Buffaloes, and they use it immediately in the mid lane. They know Nisqy did not have the flash, so he's an easy target, and this is the thing you want to continue to see them use.
600 gold is the difference between the teams. The exact combo that Gulborg talked about in Picks and Bans was land the Pantheon combo, then followed up with Taliyah, and that threaded volley will do the rest of the work, and it did. Armut, does he call the Forge Guard forward? Yes, that's number 1. That's number 2. It will be riposted as Elyoya surges twice, 3 times. The knockup from the breath, but the damage isn't there just yet.
No, that's
Armut
brutal.
needs one more.
He's not gonna get it.
One more, and he escapes for now. There's no further follow-up
Taliyah
either.
does have an ultimate as well. You can see Froggy's making his way up on the minimap right now on the top side. Does he just go straight into the fog of war? Or is he going back to the mid lane? He's going into the fog of war.
Weaver's wall, the threaded volley! Froggy takes down Armut!
Yeah, but watch the cost for it at the same time as well, because while Froggy is getting down on the top side, they get the kill. Nisqy is in the mid lane, dapping on the minions, trying to shove it in to pick up some platings.
And again, just like the previous ones, Armut and Hasmed going toe-to-toe, surviving by the absolute skin of their teeth. This time, a jungler was involved for that exchange. Previously, it was 1v1.
Yeah, but look at the movement as well, once again from Saigon. They're responding so well to where they just saw Mad Lions. This is what happened with the first Drake. Mad Lions saw members of Saigon on the top side, they got the Drake. Now Saigon Buffalo sees members on the top side, they take the Drake themselves.
It's 1-for-1, 12 minutes on the clock, and we'll be playing for a Cloud Rift. That's going to adapt in just a moment. Elyoya's got that Blade of the Rune King already, 3 assists to his name. And Nisqy this time around, 3-1-1. Involved in the team's 4 kills. He's got himself the Luden. So itemization advantage to the bottom half of the map, as of course, that is where the kills have been secured. Or vice versa, this Fiora continues to farm up plus 20 CS, Divine Sundra completed, and there is a point where Fiora can take over the game, despite the fact Hasmed hasn't had a huge amount of support as of yet.
Oh, they did this early as well. Are they just going to give Elyoya the solo goal for the turret here with the Rift Herald? This is what they did when they just won with the BelVeth before. This time around, though, Nisqy's going to oink it.
Yeah, I think Elyoya as well with that drop, and take a look at the numbers difference. Plus 1,600 gold in that mid lane. Armut finds himself down 700 or 800, but the first tower secured. Armut gets jumped on as that lunge is followed up and number of plates secured. So for Mad Lions, in a good position as the game has started. The Hex Flash will come over, pull backwards, flashed away from. But here comes the Grand Starfall. And there's no target to jump on, there's no one to vault onto with that shield.
Oh yeah, Mad Lions getting way too over-aggressive, and justifiably so. Saigon, they punish immediately, throwing everything in there now. You can be a bit careful, Chains of Corruption goes wide.
Oh, the pathing on that one. Shogun knew that the Fate's Call was available. Unforgiven, Cleanse, and Flash. Nisqy's making his way forward. BeanJ's here too, so is Froggy. Weaver's Wall's on cooldown.
It definitely is, but the big thing as well for Saigon is that with this Divine Sunder purchase coming through from Hasmed, he's going to continue to have priority in top lane. And for the rest of the game, that's going to be the case. Armut is only going to be relevant whenever there's a team fight around. And Saigon, they realize this. Froggy, from the mid lane, can move up towards the top side.
Holding on to that trigger for now. And with the fact that Saigon are in the deficit, and with the fact we've already established that in a straight-up 5v5, Mad Lions' composition may be more effective, may have more tools, assuming obviously they land their skills. How does Saigon claw back control? They're only marginally behind, but they're not that far down.
They're definitely not. And this time around, it's so easy for them to find the pickups as well. They have that late game win condition in their side lane. That's why I also said going into this game, I think this game is going to be closer than the games we've had so far. With the other series, 10 minutes into the game, game over. This time around, way closer. And with second Rift Herald spawning in 5 seconds, both teams might actually fancy their chances.
We've also seen multiple times this event, multiple times this series, Mad Lions do concede some team fights. They do sometimes overextend, and with the BelVeth, where it's so obvious Rift Herald's the target, you look at the minimap, 5 members of Mad Lions are grouped up. Hasmed's got the teleport available. Mad starting it.
Yeah, but this is also where the Fiora is maybe not going to do as much as the Ornn is. Armut buying items though.
Teleport's coming in from behind. The blast cone's actually setting up multiple Mad Lions members. The Weaver's wall slows down the follow-up, and Froggy's firing rocks over the wall. A second and third kill of the fight, and Hasmed's left for dead in and amongst 4 Lions. All of a sudden, Froggy and Shogun are now dashing out the Shadow Surge once again from Nisqy. Froggy goes golden, and that's the fight for Mad.
And remember, Saigon had loads of win conditions, but the only one that wasn't their win condition was the team fighting. They opted into a team fight against Mad Lions. Shogun doing his best to kite it out.
And pop, from that Royal Mainsail. Elyoya will get the flash from Shogun. More importantly, they'll get the Herald and the Lavender.
Unbreakable Diamond. You need to be challenger to compete here, though, so Mad Lions move up towards the Rift Hell, but they're not going to take it just yet. They're going to go for the recalls.
Ooh, obviously low hit points. Again, though, Gulborg, measured aggression. It's similar to that first Rift Hell. They got the kill, they left the Lavender behind. They had the eye and they used that. This time around, leave it. Hey, maybe you get another fight. Maybe for Mad Lions, SGB will flip a coin back into the pit.
Yeah, and it's such an unfortunate position as well because Taki's ultimate just throws himself over to a blast cone. That puts himself into 4 members of Mad Lions. When Hasmed joins the fight, yes, he does get a nice parry, but you're all standing in Elyoya, who's picking up his passive, doing so much damage. Froggy is caught on one side of the wall, forced to flash over. Now he doesn't have flash to get away, and he just gets run down by the Mad Lions.
Something that we haven't necessarily said out loud, but you see demonstrated in that fight. The amount of combat mobility on this composition is shocking. All of the surges from BelVeth, headbutt, pulverize. You've got Vex with the ability to shadow surge again and again. You've even got the Bellows Breath, for goodness sake, and the charge from Ornn. Outside of Varus just standing there like, hey, what's up? The rest of the team can chase.
Look at the map movement. There's 3 members currently of SAIGON Buffaloes on the bot side. No one's actually in a position to respond to this Rift Herald. They're going to get the first turret. They're going to move Kaiser in from the mid lane, and they're going to continue just threatening this. They're sacrificing the Drake to get so much gold for themselves here.
Oh man, look at those little manta rays flying forward. Following up from Elyoya, who's dropped the Herald, gonna get the charge, gonna get another tower secured. Mad Lions, 4,000 gold up. It is at the cost of the Cloud Drake, and Mad Lions are putting themselves in control of the game, putting themselves in control of the series, and now we'll be looking, as we're approaching 20 minutes, towards the potential Baron.
Yeah, but in a grand scheme of things, who cares about that Whimsy Drake? The fact that you pick up the gold with that second Rift Herald, that's really the big thing. But SAIGON Buffalo, they have actually a luxury knowing that team fight objectives are not up at the moment. The fact that there's no neutral objective that all of them is going to be standing at means that you can try and get your pressure on the map. Now you can try and play for the Fiora. You can try and play for the Fog of War where you get a pick with the Taliyah and Pantheon. But you cannot go in 5 versus 5 and expect to win.
Now I want to see SAIGON Buffalo adapt from how they played the previous game when behind. They stepped into the Fog of War simply too often. They got punished for it. They need to find some way to claw back this gold deficit, and that means you have to stem the bleeding. So with one more tower falling, it becomes riskier for the Mad Lions to push into SAIGON Buffalo. They can look for punishes, but they need defensive wards.
Yeah, they are opening the map. They are trying to get whatever they can right now. I would have loved if this was the Fiora then, because that meant Taliyah could be shadowing the Fiora and have the Weavers all ready if you needed it, but it's still going to be fine. You're still going to be picking up the turrets for yourself. You're going to have Wave pushed into you on the bot side, but you're not going to have a response into Armut. So when Armut has the lane assignment that they put Ornn into Taliyah, he's perfectly fine. Whereas if you had Taliyah, or rather the Fiora into the Ornn, you would suffer a bit more.
I get what you mean. Now, in terms of SAIGON Buffalo, they've got to lean on all of their experience from the course of this year. Still the youngest roster at Worlds, and a team that is the second seed from the VCS. They stepped up at MSI. This is the moment that they have to show that their adaptation from the series, and remember, they picked this blue side. They went for this Kalista option as the first pick, and it hasn't had a chance to shine as of yet. Mad Lions have been able to suffocate. But SAIGON are aware of this. I like this. They have a little bit better vision. That ward in the river, so crucial for them.
Yeah, so Sweeper is on cooldown, so Kaiser has just used it. to finally get rid of it, but now the response has come through. Really, right now, they're just buying time. Here's a pickup, though, they can look for.
That's an instant flash into the cleanse, as well as getting away from the seismic shove. Armut's not going to find the knockup, and Saigon Buffalo find themselves a pick. That vision we talked about gave them the information to dive forward. But this is a 4 versus 5. Call the Forge Guard's been used. Elyoya steps forward above and beyond, won't find the target. He's looking to fire out that Maelstrom, continues to auto-attack Taki. In a 4 versus 5, Elyoya's that far ahead, it pushes Saigon away.
Yeah, but that's also just the stylistic between the two compositions. Great stuff from Saigon Buffalo. They see an isolated member, they commit immediately. Then it becomes a teamfight scenario, you disengage. You picked up a gold, you've got some more breathing room, that's it.
And of course, in terms of the compositions, that replay is going to be exactly how the compositions want to play. You want the skirmishes, you want the kills that give you the time to play the lane. That is what...
So he stops him, and he's having none of that. You stop already, you're getting it. And that just comes in immediately. So despite good sidesteps, it's just not enough when they have everything to throw at an isolated AD carry.
If you want Game 5 to happen, spam Mark Ruffalo to help Saigon Buffalo. And again, once Elyoya steps forward, Hasmed and Shogun be so careful. The flash away from Hasmed gets him to safety in Elyoya. He needs that CC to land in order to fire out those autos from the wingtips.
Yeah, and why, if you're wondering why Nisqy didn't take that ultimate on Shogun, Shogun had his shield bow still available. It would just have been a bait throwing himself in there and Nisqy would have died. But now, once again, opening up the map. That's what Saigon Buffalo does. Find picks when members are rotating isolated like you just saw before.
How afraid are you for Saigon at this point? It's 3,500 gold, but they have the dragon advantage, and they have champions that really don't mind going to the late game. They just have to avoid the straight-up head-to-head 5v5s.
But they also have a Varus that's unhit, and they have a BelVeth. That Baron, that's shredded. So you can never really keep it unboarded. You have to worry about this exact thing.
It's the darkness, it's the darkness, it's the darkness! It's full of fears, but the showstopper and the blast cone! That gets Taki out to safety for now. Taki stays alive for the Weaver's Wall to arrive. Nisqy will be backed up with the call of the Forge God, but nobody from Saigon dies just yet, until just a moment ago. 1, 2 members are down, but so far this fight is exactly what Saigon want. Multiple skirmishes, multiple fronts. Unfortunately for them, they're too far down.
Oh, they're not done.
All of a sudden, the Grand Starfall comes out. They're jumping on to Ornn. Kaiser's looking for the hop over the wall. Unforgiven needs to get into range. Armut is staying alive just long enough for Unforgiven to arrive, but the seismic shove and the shield vault will force the flash out. Now Kaiser's the next to fall. Saigon ace match!
BeanJ, you absolute giga chat! What a play to come through with! And it's through the mid and jungle combo that they picked up from the drafting phase. This Taliyah and Pantheon is really paying its dividends.
Multiple skirmishes, multiple 2v2s. That is how this composition shines.
Exactly, and it looks so good for Mad Lions in the beginning, but they also overextend their welcome. As soon as they take the fight under the enemy turret, that's where it becomes really difficult to fight. You can see they want Shogun, but they don't get the damage on him immediately. That forces Elyoya to get on the turret. It forces him to get picked up by BeanJ, and they use so much time on the top side of the fight here to try and pick out Taki. Then they get isolated, and that's the big one. Once again, they see a lone little Ornn, and BeanJ punishes immediately, but we're not done. Out of the replay we go.
Fight, fight, fight! Elyoya, above and beyond, onto Taki, gets pulled backwards. He's the sacrificial lamb. Look at the minimap, look at the minimap. The rest of Saigon Buffalo are pushing the mid-outer turret. This will be the third of the game. If they can secure it, minion wave is being cleared out, so the tower will stand to live another day.
Look at the ultimates. Nothing has been used to pick up Taki. You just go straight over to Baron. If the enemy comes around, that's where you turn the fight. This should be so good for Mad Lions, and I'm wondering, how does Saigon Buffalo get out of this one?
3 dragons in Saigon's belt. Baron has been started, and we've already seen this go badly for Mad Lions at play-ins groups. Secondary charge from Armut is just for the disengage. And frankly, that goal difference is irrelevant at this time.
So crucial by the Taliyah. Kaiser could not get his combo through because he was stunned up immediately. So he just get pushed away with Froggy there. They get out all of them scot-free. Ultimates get used. Nothing connects. And Saigon Buffalo, they disrupt the danger.
I got a feeling, Goodborg. You don't know what my feeling is because I've had
many. You have a lot
many
of feelings.
This is going to be a 10-game day. I got a feeling that we are going to have the maximum amount, because immediately following this will be Loud versus Dead FM. And look at this game.
Oh, here they go again.
The scale of 4,000. Unforgiven gets jumped on. The cleanse is popped. Elyoya will find the knock-up. Chain of Corruption is not going to be able to hold them in place. Elyoya's looking for it. Onto BeanJ. Gets the summoning heal. The heal right, rather. Stays alive. There's a smite rather.
Nisqy,
Now all of a sudden, Nisqy jumps forward. Not going to be able to find a kill just yet. Nobody's died. Nobody's died.
But here comes the re-engage with the ultimate.
Taki pulls them backwards. BeanJ once again. Knocked up into the air. Nobody's died. Finally, Hasmed gets one. At the cost of his own life, the seismic shove takes down Armut. SAIGON Buffaloes win the fight.
Everything says that SAIGON Buffalo shouldn't win this team fight, but I don't give a damn. They're doing it anyway. And so much credit has to go to Bean that just instantly see a play, goes for it. The rest of the members comes around, and then Taki on the re-engage on the Sett with Hasmed giving his life to find the fight.
Like I said, I got a feeling that tonight's going to be a good night. And SAIGON Buffalo feeling it too. Look at that engage. I cannot believe BeanJ stays alive for as long as he does.
I genuinely thought he was just going to die here, Mad Lions. We're going to pick up the Baron afterwards, but BeanJ stays alive. The Gold Ring are paying its dividends in that fight. Nisqy comes through. Had disconnect on BeanJ, he would have gotten the reset. That would have been the fight. That would have been probably the game over. Does not happen. Cannot one-shot Froggy. And now it becomes such an extended fight with Hasmed finally coming through. He's not used a single thing, and because of that, they're able to get at least one, making it two afterwards with Armut dashing in.
That is one of the hardest team fights I have ever cast in my career, with the amount of everything thrown in at the middle lane. So many players going at 10% HP, and now the gold is bang on even.
What's so beautiful about this is Vietnam is showing up with their own style, right? You never see anyone go for this kind of style right now, but this is what has been so feared against them. It's the reason why BeanJ has been taking so many Pantheon bans throughout the tournament.
Not only that, they straight up stared Mad Lions at a 5v5 and went, we can win this. Despite being gold down, they managed to outplay it.
But this is the big one. Fiora is on the bot lane, currently pushing in the side lane. She does not have to teleport, so they're going to call the bluff. They're going to say, we start out the Baron, you want to fight? It's going to be a 4 versus 5.
Fake call is available in just a moment. Weaver's wall will lock Mad Lions inside the pit. The Starfall comes in, 3,000 hit point. Burger flip! Who gets the smite fight? It's picked up by Elyoya and the Mad Lions. They kill BeanJ. They kill Froggy. And now they're looking for Shogun and Taki at the pressure. Hasmed is pushing the ball. Maybe it's backed away. He's backed away.
It could have been the play. BeanJ steals that. That's Fiora just currently in a position to end the game if the rest of them can stop the ports. Unfortunately, that's not the thing we're actually seeing. And Mad Lions, they managed to pick up the Baron and later the team fight.
Elyoya, as well as Unforgiven, pushing the tower in the middle lane. Nisqy pushing the tower in the top lane. Just as SAIGON bring back the deficit, the Baron is secured and Mad Lions once again retake control.
And this is going to be the big one, because this is where you open up the base. This is where you push SAIGON Buffalo out of the map. You can start taking the objectives. Start picking up the camps. Hasmed looking.
Fate's Call is available. If Taki gets close enough, that can't work. Hasmed is chunked down, forced to run. That's Armut flashing forward, won't find the knockup. The breath is bellowing, and Elyoya needs to dash away to safety. That Surge buying time. 4 members of SAIGON Buffalo on the steps, and the fight will fizzle there.
And somehow, some way, SAIGON Buffalo, they managed to defend their base. Teleport's coming through from Nisqy now in the mid lane to stay on top of the push. But let's have a look at how this Baron actually unfolded. BeanJ comes in early at 3k. But despite that, there's still a lot of AoE, and the smite comes down at 1,500. Anticipates the damage is going to be a little larger from the Q. He does not get it. And after that, it's an easy pickup from Elyoya.
Very nicely done. And learning from the DRX Baron throw just a day ago, Mad Lions in the pit this time, coordinated well, and please don't underestimate, that was a risky call. Had BeanJ been able to land that smite, could have worked out. And crucially, for LEC fans, for European viewers, Mad Lions delay the Soul. They pick up their second dragon. They have a minute left on this Red Bull Baron, and they're stepping forward, GB.
But they're not playing on 2 lanes right now. They're throwing 5 members down in the bot side, which means that, yes, you'll be able to pick up this turret. What happens afterwards? You're 5 versus 4. Are you looking for anything? Good Walls comes out to disrupt it, but Armut as well with the break.
Yeah, too many members in front of the wall as well. That did very little to really slow down this siege. It will be a trade of a couple of towers, but advantageous for Mad Lions. Grand Starfall's available. Kaiser will not be able to find the engage as he will get the flash from Froggy. a lot of autos, threaded volleys being fired out.
Yeah, ultimate used as well from Unforgiven, so they don't have to change their corruption, and they're going to continue to chase them. Hasmed in the top side, seeing how much he can get. It's Baron empowered recall, so they will get back to the base. But SAIGON Buffalo, they managed to make it competitive.
They are not giving up. They are not conceding this game, and they are using the side lane pressure to demonstrative value. Hasmed has managed to push that bottom lane all the way to inhibitor turret. Top inhibitor is exposed, but again, let's not disregard the fact it's MAD that have the 2.5k gold lead. They have supers in the bottom lane. Baron has just timed out since 3,000 on the Baron buff. Power play, Red Bull Baron power play rather. But for SAIGON, they cannot keep conceding, objectives and buildings in their base.
The problem is that Mad Lions is going to put their attention now on the top side. BeanJ, you might actually be caught. You do have a flash, maybe forced to use it.
Holding on to it for now. Well, the Forge Guard comes out, knocked up into the air, knocked up once again. Give BJ some frequent flyer miles. He's about to get status. Teleport is coming in from Hasmed. The showstopper delivers Taki to the back line to disrupt, dissuade, to disguise the fight. BeanJ still alive as Hasmed's now the next focus. He manages to dash forward to the riposte. 2 kills for the Buffaloes. Armut and Elyoya will at least get one in reply. As it stands, 2 members of the Mad Lions backing 4 Saigons live.
How good is BeanJ on this Pantheon? He's making it look disgusting. Disengages the fight by so much time with the stopwatch. The rest of the team comes in. 1 TP from Hasmed. The combo afterwards with Froggy, ultimate in the backline, Taki.
Oh my word. He's got a flash available to him. Not gonna need it just yet. Look at the minimap, support not going to come in until this moment. Froggy weavers wall forward, but will Elyoya have the damage? That's a flash over, and Taki gets taken down. Now Armut escaped with his life. The seismic shove is surged away from Elyoya, gets a donation.
These fights are so tense, it just feels like one mistake is going to be what makes and breaks them. At this point, it just feels like it comes down to execution. And it kind of just has to as well, because despite all of it, SAIGON Buffalo is the team who's feeling the pressure. They are the team that's getting pushed in, and they are the team that has to team fight their way out of it. In a situation where they shouldn't be able to have the better team fighting, they do it anyway. BeanJ with the Morph Mortius, the Gorgeringer keeping himself alive, flashes out, and then look for the re-engage. Instantly has to see how everyone gets split apart by a great disengage by Taki. Has the ultimate to move forward as well, and once again they find an isolated AD carry. Hasmed is doing so much, 1 versus 3, has to give up his life for it, but he's already bought so much time.
Is it going to be enough for SAIGON Buffaloes to regain control of this game? As it stands, Mad Lions lands the first punch, the counter-attack from SAIGON pushes them back, but if you look at the minimap, if you look at the supers, it is Mad Lions that are still somewhat in control. It is tentative.
And the problem that they're currently running into right now is that Hasmed don't have the same push as he did before. He's forced to play on the bot side.
Yeah.
Bot side has super minions. That means you're going to be slower with the push. So now top lane opened up. Bot lane still open. Mid lane, next point of attack. And Baron up in 30 seconds.
30 seconds for that buff. At this point in time, 31 total kills between the teams. A dragon spawning in a minute.
Oh, they're using the fuck of ward. Taki, somebody will have to face check.
Oh,
They're around a good
ward.
ping ward as well. Using the extended range,
Another
but there's
one.
other people around.
Taki is in some trouble. Elyoya's waiting for the engage. I'm waiting for the horn. Holding on to it for now. Here comes Froggy from the side. Elyoya is fighting with Hasmed. Now Elyoya's got that flash. May just need him. Multiple Mad Lions jumping onto Hasmed. He's about to fall, and he does! But Taki jumps forward. Can he save the rest of SAIGON Buffalo? Froggy, maybe the next target. He's buying some time in Golden State, but here comes Elyoya from the flank. Mad Lions may have just done it. Mad Lions are crushing the Buffaloes in the mid lane.
BeanJ still alive. Gorgeringer available potentially. No, it's not going to be enough. And Elyoya, only one against the Shogun, flashes away. Elyoya chases. It's not going to matter much. The rest of Mad Lions, they're charging towards the enemy base.
Look at the mini-map. 2 inhibitors down. 735 days ago, Mad Lions failed to advance from play-ins. 400 days ago, Mad Lions won a best of 5. And today, they eliminate SAIGON Buffalo. And Mad Lions will face the evil geniuses for a shot at the group stage. The Nexus is about to fall. And they're taking their time to finish it out. Mad Lions eliminate SAIGON Buffalo.
But I have to say it. If there's a way to go out as a minor region coming into this, the way that SAIGON Buffalo leaves the tournament today, they can almost hold their head up high. The way they had some of these team fights, the individual skill level, The fact that they almost won this game that should have been done and dusted is impressive. But in the end, the better team is Mad Lions, and they advance to play another best of 5.
The last time that NA and EU faced each other in a BO5 at Worlds was 2018. Cloud9 versus, I think it was Fnatic with G2, producers just told me, but nevertheless, many, many years, it was Fnatic. Thank you, producers. I will give you one more shout out for Saigon Buffalo. They played the game their style.
So entertaining.
With their picks and bans, regardless of the opponents, and they are hella competitive. Mad Lions had to dig deep, Mad Lions had to grow, and the Mad Lions today is stronger than what we saw during the group stage.
The only thing I'm left with is regret. Regret that we're not getting 5 games of what we had.
Yeah.
Especially the last one, while the others were